Hi everyone, I'm Ming from MLAstro, and today I'm honored to give you a quick tour on the MLAstro SAL-33, our first harmonic mounts. In this video, we will go through how do you set up the mounts, how do you connect it to your computer, how do you configure it to match your use case, how do you do the polar alignment, and everything else. And please be advised that in this video there will be very few important notes. If you do not follow those notes, you might end up breaking your mounts or damaging your mounts. So please watch this video carefully before you start using your mounts. Okay, so all the connection port, the power port is on the left side of the mount. Okay, and you have the 12 volt 3 amps power connector. It is a standard 5.5 by 2.1 millimeter power jack, and then we have the SD4 guiding port, which double as the hand controller. You can plug the hand controller, which the smart hand controller, which is optional, to this port to control your mouse using the hand controller. Okay, you have the USB Type B port 2.0, and this is for connecting your mount to the to your computer, to your Astro computer like the ACR or your laptop for controlling the mount. The mount is running on OnStepX, so it has driver support for most major platforms like ASCOM, Indie, so it supports pretty much every major Astro imaging software out there like Nina, K-Star, etc. So this mount is fully compatible with ZWO ASI Air, and you can use this mount with ASI Air, and it will be fully compatible. We have the saddle here, which is pretty standard. It is a dual saddle. It supports the Vixen dovetail here and the Lost Mandy type dovetail above here, so it is pretty flexible. You can use both Vixen style and Lost Mandy style dovetail. The mount has a marking on the declination and right ascension. So this is the marking for the home position. When the mount is parked at home, when the scope pointing to the North Celestial Pole and the counterweight is at 6 o'clock, then those markings should align. Okay, the mount doesn't have a home sensor, but we provide this marking as an alignment tool when you want to home your mount manually. You can also have the saddle, the declination saddle, mounted sideways like this for dual mount. You just have to reset the home position on OnStep, and when you do that, the split between the two saddle clamp here will align with this to provide a rough home alignment. This will only be meant for rough alignment, so no need to be precise. We have this zero shift all-as alignment mechanism, and this is one of the crown jewel of the MLAstro SAL-33. It is our main selling point for this mount. It allows you to do the adjustment, the altitude adjustment easily, even when this two adjusting thumb screw is tightly tightened. Okay. For other mounts, you usually have to loosen those screws to make the adjustment in the altitude, right? And after you've done the adjustment, you have to tighten those screws, and it slightly shift the polar alignment that you already carefully dialed in. It shift it by a few arc minutes, and it is very annoying. So we built in a pioneering mechanism, MLAstro zero shift mechanism. It allows you to do the adjustment even when you have this locking bolt tightly tightened, and after you adjusting the altitude, you are done. You don't have to tighten anything, and the polar alignment just hold. Okay, and it is pioneering. I love this mechanism, and I believe you will do as well. Similarly, azimuth align and adjusting screw is also do not require you to tighten those screws anymore. These are pre-tension in from factory, and you only have to adjusting those screws. After you done adjusting, you just screw the other way in to hold it back here, and the mount is ready to be used, and it is solid. So before you do any polar alignment, please make sure that this adjusting screw has plenty of travel on both ends of it. You have plenty of thread on both sides of this brass nut here, right? If you do not have enough travel on one of the sides, just screw the screw until you do. Step 2, for the polar alignment, you can see that you have the this 2 M5 screw here, and it can be opened with the include 3mm Allen key, right? You just insert that Allen key in, and you loosen them just a tiny bit. You do not have to loosen them all the way, just enough so that the axis can be rotated freely, right? On the other side, there is also another screw like that. You just insert the Allen key and you loosen them entirely, okay? So that after you loosen them, you loosen this thumb screw holding the up here, and the mount can be rotated by hand freely, right? So you can see that there is the altitude marking on the side of the mount here, right? And then there is an indicator here, and I will give a rough altitude alignment based on my latitude, okay? So I am 21 degree north, so let's say this is the rough polar alignment, okay? I dial it in, and then first I'll have to tighten this screw and make sure those screws are properly tightened, or you will have the polar alignment shift, okay? After you have it tightened, you can tighten this, right? And make sure these are as tight as you can get them, right? So that the mount will be solid and it will do well against wind and vibration, okay? Okay, so this adjusting screw here has about 15 degree of travel range. So this alignment only have to be a ballpark, and we can fine tune the alignment with this thumb screw later. Small notes on the zero shift polar alignment here. You'll see that depending on your location, on your latitude and your setup, you will see that when you adjusting this altitude adjusting screw here, you will see that there is a side with significant more resistance when you turn this knob here. For my particular case, this side clockwise is much easier to turn than turning it counterclockwise. And remember, you have to make sure that the last adjustment of the adjusting knob is to against the side with more resistance. In my case, counterclockwise. Okay, this is very important. If you do not make sure that the last adjustment is against the heavier side, then the polar alignment will not hold as well. This is the bottom plate of the SAL-33. It has 3 M6 screw placed 120 20 degree apart, and the diameter is 60 millimeter. So it is exactly the same pattern as the ZWO AM5, AM5N. So anything that works for an AM5 will work for this mount here, right? It also has a 3/8 inch screw hole here, the tripod screw hole here, right? So you can screw it onto a tripod that had a 3/8 inch center pin. If you get the MLAstro SAL-33, I highly recommend the P200 P extension. It not only extends the clearance of your mount, so the scope, if you're using longer scope, significantly reduce the chance that the scope will hitting one of the tripod legs. And it also expands your SAL-33 compatibility with different tripod through a series of adapter. We have adapter for iOptions tripod, for Skywatcher tripod, for ZWO, and many other manufacturers. So it will help you save money by using your existing tripod instead of having to buy a new one. Okay, so after you powering on your mounts, you wait for about a few minutes. You'll see that the mount is starting to broadcast a Wi-Fi network. You can see that it's right here at MLAstro SAL-33, right? I will connect to this network by entering the default password, which is password like this, right? And I click join. And then I can enter the local web server like this, the 192.168.0.1, the IP address of the mounts, right? And it opened the SmartWebServer. You can see we have SmartWebServer 2.09c, right? And I go to the mount tab. And in this mount tab, the first thing that I want to do when I first set up the mount is I want to let the mount go to home position, okay? I will press return home. Okay, so after the mount returning home, you pay attention to this little marking here and make sure they are aligned. If they are not, you can, slew the mount slightly using the controller here. You can increase the slew speed and slew the mount slightly. When the marking is matched, you can press home reset here to reset the home position. You don't have to be super precise with this alignment. It's just supposed to serve as a rough alignment before you do your first split, solve, and syncs. Okay, so there will be situation where you have your mounts hitting the tripod leg, or it overslew something and hit the tripod leg, and the motor skip and the mount lose track of the home position. And when you press return home, it will just go to a random position like this. Now what do you do in that situation? If you get into this situation, you will use the web interface or your mobile apps to manually home align your mount, right? You set the slew speed to fast, to maximum, and you slew your mount until the marking is match the home position on the indicating marking here, right? And there will be a situation where you keep press slewing here, but the mount stops slew altogether, which probably because the mount hitting one of the soft limits, which built in to make sure the mount do not rotate 360 degree. So if that happens, you simply click home reset and then the mouse will let you slew more in that direction, right? Okay, so it over a little bit. You don't have to shoot for perfect alignment, just ballpark alignment is okay. The rest we can do fine tuning with plate solving. Okay, so I have the alignment matching each other like this, and I click home reset. Okay, so you have your mount now properly reset to the home position. So apart from connecting to your mount with via Wi-Fi and your browser, we can control the mount with the OnStep Android apps. This is a free app. You can search for it on Google Play, right? And on this app, you can connect to the mount via the IP address. If you are connecting to the same Wi-Fi network or the Wi-Fi network that the SAL-33 is broadcasting, or you connect to the same Wi-Fi network as the SAL-33, or you can connect using the Bluetooth connection, which is the recommended mode of connection for the Android apps, since I find that the apps is connecting via Bluetooth is more responsive, right? After connecting, you will see that you have the option to manually slew the mount, right? You see that you can slew the mounts using the on-screen button like this, right? Or you can set the observing site using the your phone GPS location, and you can upload, and everything is automatically offset and upload to your SAL-33 via Bluetooth, right? You can also do initiate park. You can unpark and set date time for your mounts, right? You can do go to, for example, I can go to the sun here, and the mount will perform the go to automatically. I can abort go to here, right? Okay, I can initiate parking by returning home here. Okay, so the Android app is a great way to control your SAL-33, and it works similarly to how the smart hand controller do. There are a lot of other things that you can do on the Android app. You can, change the mount type to RS or German equatorial mounts. You can turn on off the some of the setting here, right? And you can explore the app by yourself. It is a great addition to the OnStep. Aside from connecting to your mount via the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, you can also connect your mount to your computer, and I think that is the mode of use that most of us will use anyway. This is I'm connecting this to a window running on parallel on a Mac, but it's similar to other Windows PC running out there. Okay, I will demo the connection to ASCOM driver. First, after you power it on, the mount on, and plug it into your computer, you go to Device Manager, and you will see that there is a new device here. that show is CP102 USB to UART bridge controller. This is the mount that is trying to connect, okay? But it's showing the question mark here, meaning the driver is missing. You just go to get internet connection and go to CP1202 driver and download the driver here for Windows Universal driver, and you click save and you go back to the controller, you click update driver and you browse your computer and you point to the folder you just download here. Okay, and the driver is installed and it shows the COM3. Please note this COM connection. Alright, your mount is connecting to COM3 and we will install the OnStep driver. I will leave the download link for the ASCOM driver in my video below, but I'll assume you have ASCOM installed and you have everything and you have the OnStep driver installed correctly. I'm going to choose device and connect the device, right? Telescope, and I will choose the telescope driver, which is OnStep telescope here. I click properties, right? And pick COM3. And remember to set the serial interface to 9600 baud, okay? This is the baud rate you should use, right? And it shows all the setting here. You can set the latitude, longitude in this setting, or you can go to web interface too, right? Okay, everything looks good. I'll hit OK here. Okay, and now you can use this to connect to your favorite telescope controller. You can connect it to Stellarium, you can connect it to Nina, or anything else that you want. Now is the rules that to protect your mounts. The first thing that you have to note is that you never should exceed 29 kilogram total on the mount. This is including the counterweight, the mount head, the telescope. The mount head itself is about 4 kilogram without the base. So you never should exceed 20 kilogram for the setup for the telescope and 5 kilogram for the counterweight, right? Because if you exceed that number, that capacity, it will damage the harmonic drive bearings. So never exceed that number, okay? For practical use, keep your imaging rig within the recommended payload range that I'm showing on the screen right now. You can find this chart on the product page on our website, okay? Secondly, when moving the setup, please remove this scope, okay? Do not take the whole setup like this and move it around. The harmonic drive is very robust. However, if you move that setup around and you bump into something, it might dent the gear inside the gearbox, and those dents will show up later as guiding spikes. So when you move this setup, your setup around, always removing the telescope before you do, okay? And it's also better for your back, right? Third, the always power off your mount using the power button like this. Do not jank the power cord like this. And always remember to power off your mount after use. If you keep the mount powering on all the time, first, it the mount always checks, silently check when you're powering it on. It might hit the tripod and make you lose the home position, or worse, it can shorten the lifespan of the electronic and your gearbox. All right, so always remember to turn off the power after use. Okay, so the next the thing that you have to note for harmonic mount, if you come from a worm gear or a gear mount, is that those harmonic drive need some preloading to behave the best. If you balance the bricks too perfectly, the mount will not perform as they should. Okay, the harmonic drive had a tendency to wander around if it's balanced. It needs some preloading, some axis load like this to perform. So make sure that you put enough of off-axis load so that the gearbox will perform without any backlash and properly perform. Okay. Remember that the right accession on SAL-33 has a physical brake, so it can tolerate a lot of off-axis load like this. You can unbalance it a lot, and it doesn't affect the right accession, right? But for the declination, this axis doesn't have any physical brake, so you need to unbalance it, but you also need to take care that this axis doesn't move when the power is cut. Another behavior of the SAL-33 that might confuse first-time user is the way it handles Pier flip and go to. Okay, the mount has a anti-cable snap feature built in, which means that sometimes if a go-to command is issues, the mount will decide which Pier side is on, and it will go to the home position first. If it decides that there is a high probability of a cable snap will happen before continue to go to the object that was selected. For example, I'm choosing to go to the sun right now, and instead of going directly to the sun, the mount decides that it will go to the home position first to untangling the cable, right? It will pause at home position for a second before starting to go the other way and pointing to the sun. This is not a bug, and it is a feature. It greatly reduces the chance of a cable snap. So another thing that new user of OnStep mount should be noted, that OnStepX has a very special behavior of the declination slew command when it pointing to the north celestial pole. When the scope is pointing north like this, I press going south, right? The scope will go south for a little bit, right? But then if I stop and I press south again, you see that? The scope is going the other way. With the same button press, the declination slewing behavior is completely reversed. This is also not an error, but due to how OnStep handle the Pier side and the near the celestial pole slewing. Okay, it's just how OnStepX works. So the solution for this confusion, you just perform a go-to from this position. Do not try to slew the this button, right? And you will get used to it after a while. That's all. After you point away from the celestial pole, you will be able to use this button, and they will have much consistent behavior when pointing away from the pole. Okay, so that is everything that I have for today. I will make another video detailing how do you configure your mounts using the SmartWebServer. But I hope this will be a starting point for you when you first receive your mounts, and have fun imaging. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any other question, just let me know. Send me an email. I'm happy to help.